Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So you can see here I got the aggregation, or aggravation, because looking at it is kind of aggravating, but whatever. New research tree here. Why all this stuff has its own research tree? Yeah, I don't know for sure yet, but looking at some of this shit and comparing it to some of the hostiles, there is a ship coming. Because otherwise, some of this shit just doesn't make sense at all. Start with the beginning part of this. You have a piercing increase. Starts at 1200%, which is kind of a lot compared to some of the other researchers out there. But these hostiles do have increased mitigation, so the piercing can counter that. Now it's only going to cap out at, well, 3600%, which, let's go take a look at some of the big hostiles out there. I do have a few ships posted in some of these really big systems. Where's the mitigation here? All mitigation stats increased by 5200%. So the piercing won't quite counter that at all. Interesting. Kind of sounds like that research is kind of pointless. But what do I know? Because obviously this loop is not fully fleshed out. But I'll get to that point in a moment. Can this help some of you in the lower parts of the loop? Sure. Will it? Does kind of depend on where you are at. A person like me, no, it doesn't do shit for me. But if you're a 45 to 50, sure, it could help you. I feel like still the whole, what the hell is it even called? The aggravating hull burn, I don't know what the hell else to call it. Forgot what the fuck it's called. Whatever the hell it's called. It's just going to do so many percent to you anyway that you're only going to be able to kill a few ships. Of course, to a certain extent, if you get your building up to, 36, it should completely counter the 49 and below hostiles. Which is cool, I guess. But, however. Next research, apex barrier. Of course. Excuse me. Increase your apex barrier up to 150. 8,500. 8,500. Sure, more apex barriers, more apex barrier. But again, at certain points, it just feels like it doesn't matter how much damage these hostiles do to you with their weapons. Right? But sure, it's fine. And you finally get to something that may have effect outside this loop, which there's not a whole lot, which I don't consider a good thing. But again, we'll see if we get more to this, because I really feel like there's going to be more shit added. Increase isolated damage against augment exile hostiles. Start at 25%, goes all the way up to 500%. Can that be a benefit to you? Sure. Now at the same time, if you have the Reliant, is that even going to matter? I don't think so. Because as far as I can tell, the Reliant kicks the shit out of those hostiles. And you can see I don't even have this research. And I got a teeny tiny ass Reliant. Because I just got mine. Oh yeah, I got to do videos on that. Or do I? Yeah, I probably do. So, I'm not necessarily sure this really helps. But it can. Sure. Will it? That's the real question. Other research here, increase your trashigen mining speed. Cool. Starts at 500%, goes all the way up to 3,000%. Increase the mining rate of common, uncommon, rare trashigen. Now for the common, I think this does kind of do something, because the building, stupid forge thing, whatever the shit that's called, it gives you a little less boost for the common. So 3,000 does kind of do something for you. But does 3,000 do something for you for the uncommon and the rare? No, not really. So who gives a shit? Maybe it's just me. And again, I'm a different level than some of you players out there. Some of you players are going to look at this and be like, that's awesome. But again, the building is getting you much more than that. So what exact benefit is this really? It just doesn't seem like that much of a benefit. To the point where I don't care. The only reason I'm doing the damn research is to move further along down the chain. That just doesn't seem that beneficial to me, but that's just the way they made this, and I don't think it's very good. Increase isolated defense against aggravating hostiles. Cool. Isolated defense starts at 600%. Okay, that's a big number. And the caps out at 1,500%. Now, really early on, no, this isn't going to help you at all. Because guess what? They don't do isolated damage. 49 and below, they don't do isolated damage. So, yeah, it's really only going to matter to you once you get higher up there. Of course, at the same time, Recon Locust is level 51. That's a requirement. Okay, so you start getting up to some of the big hostiles, and if you didn't notice it, that's 69. Yeah, it does isolated damage to you. Alright, here's another benefit. Increased cost efficiency on Forbidden Tech Proto Matter. Starts at 5%, goes up to 20%. Really? That's it? Forbidden Tech is how old? All you're going to give us is another 25% cost efficiency? That's not good enough. I look at this research and I say, fuck you. It's not good enough. After this long, for a currency that you can't just click the button and get the upgrade. Because you got a percentage chance that it's going to fail. Saying in that column, aggravation, critical damage reduction. Okay? 100% and then goes up to 2,700%. Yeah. Some of the really big level hostiles, yeah, they do lots of critical damage to you. And yeah, they do have a high critical chance. So yeah. Yeah. Again, the really big ones. Again, staying in the column, Apex Shred in Wave Defense. Starts at 5%, then maxes out at 50%. Again, to me, this is repair cost reduction. It just doesn't really do enough for me. You need, as far as I'm concerned, to see any kind of movement, you need about 1,000%. And this just doesn't move the needle enough for me to say, yay, this is a great research. I just like, man, whatever. I guess keep throwing in this Apex Shred bullshit here and there and only in wave defense. But at the same time, why the fuck didn't you do this for hazard resistance? Huh. Yeah. Okay. Alright, next column over. Increased cost efficiency on catalysts and reactors for Forbidden Tech. Assume it's just for Forbidden Tech and not for prototype Forbidden Tech. But I don't really know. It's possible it'll do both. Start at 5%, then go to 20%. And again, not enough. It's not enough for the same reasons it wasn't enough for the other one. Increased critical damage in wave defense. Start at 15% and goes up to 200%. Yeah, no, this isn't enough at all. Compared to, now again, maybe at certain levels. But at the same time, Recon Locust level 51. You would think that that means, unless this is like the mess hall, right? Where you can just level the mess hall up when you got the credits. All the other buildings are, look, you can't go to 51 unless you are in Operations 51. If you are in Operations 51, how much critical damage do you already have in wave defense? I'm going to say enough to where another 200% ain't moving a needle at all. But that's okay. You can like this, it's fine. Here we go, some PvP benefit. Increase Apex barrier for interceptors when fighting players. Does not apply when Tao's on the bridge. Because of course it doesn't. It's like they hate Tao for some reason, even though they made him. Of course they made him, what, six years ago? Oh, and his ability is a lot like these hostiles. Huh. So you like it when it does damage to the players, but you don't like it when the players have the benefit of it. Oh, Well, how fucking convenient. Level 1's going to be 500, and then level 10 is going to be 10,000 Apex Barrier. That does sound like a lot. Yeah, that does sound like a lot. That does sound like that can do something for you. Of course, at the same time, if everybody has that, then what? And as much as they change the PvP meta in this shit, how long until this isn't going to mean shit for you? Well, yeah. But it's fine. And in the same column, explorers and battleships. Next column over, increase isolated defense for interceptors against enemy players is going to start at 15%, and they go up to 200%. Yeah, but as we've noticed with isolated defense giving 200% or even 100%, or it doesn't do that much. It does something for you, sure. You all seen Joaquin, I think I said that right, the new epic officer, or new-ish epic officer from the Augment Exile loop that you can get really good sourcing on. Or at least I can. It depends on what level you are, because you got to kill the champions. It can be useful. Don't pay that much attention to the numbers. Okay, 200% sounds like a lot, but it's really not in the grand scheme of things. Is it going to have benefit for you? Sure. Is it going to have a whole lot of benefit? Not really. Again, in the grand scheme of things. And especially because the PvP meta changes so often. Alright, only 3 more researches to go. This is the research that really leads me to believe, okay, there's a ship coming. But again, requirement recon locus 61. So yeah, you're going to have the building up to over 60 before you can even go after the G6 hostiles. Level 1 is going to be 50% critical chance reduction of the aggravation hostiles, and it's going to max out at 400%. Now remember that, 400% critical chance. I don't know if you noticed this earlier when I went and clicked on these hostiles, but take a look at this shit. Yeah, these are all the bonuses here for these. They're only level 69. Increase weapon damage by 12,500%. Increase critical damage floor by 150%. Isolated damage by 3,000%. Critical damage by 2,700%. And critical chance by 600%. So what does it matter if you have a 400% critical chance reduction if the hostile has an extra 600% chance? It still has 200% chance at getting a critical hit, even you only need 100% critical chance to actually get a critical hit. So even with just the research, these things will still max all the research. These things will still do a critical hit to you. So what's the point of the research even existing? No point at all. Unless there's a ship that's going to come along and drop the critical chance by 200%. Because then 200% plus 400%, 600% cancels out. Because otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Or at least, I can't think of a reason. If you thought of a reason, by all means, go ahead and tell me. Alright, going back in here, let's finish off the tree. Increase Apex Shred against aggravation hostiles. Starts at 300%, goes up to 1,000%. Okay. Yeah, there's going to be some movement there. But at the same time, if they have how much Apex... Well, go back out because, of course, I didn't look at that ahead of time. Or I did and I really forgot. Actually, I think when we looked at this before, didn't it say it? Apex Barrier. 300,000. Okay. So now these things have they got lots. They got lots of Apex Barrier. 300,000 Apex Barrier. Could you really use some of this Apex Shred? Yeah. It's probably going to move the needle here. Because it's 300,000 Apex Barrier. So, yeah. Okay. This makes sense for the loop anyway. Again, the critical chance thing still doesn't make sense for the loop unless there's a ship coming, which is awesome. Yeah, it's great. I don't know what... To a certain extent, other than this critical chance thing right here, and what's attached to the hostiles, there's no reason to have a ship. But why have a ship? What is this ship going to do for us? Oh, it's going to add the critical chance reduction. Okay. Why would anybody buy it then? It's going to have some kind of benefit. Maybe more benefit to outside the loop, because I don't see too much benefit outside the loop with this research. So it's entirely possible that, let's say, the refinery is going to be really good for this ship. Again, because otherwise, what's the point if there's no ship coming? Last research here, increased cost efficiency for the USS Vengeance ship parts. I'm going to start at 7.5%. Okay. And the second level is going to be 15%. Yep. That looks like that does something. Hey man, whatever. But you can see how long they want this loop to last. They want it to span 2 grades, which is kind of a lot. Yeah, I guess to a certain extent it's 2.5 grades, but you're only meant to really be familiar with the loop in the mid to high G4. All in all, I gotta say this research tree is very lackluster, but very informative. Because again, this research here, it only maxes out at 400%, but the biggest hostile has a critical chance of 600%. So it all but confirms there will be a ship coming for this loop. And since there's not a whole lot in this research tree, it's either going to have a really good refinery, or it's going to add to this research tree. Or maybe not a really good refinery, but a lot of things in a refinery. Is it going to be good? We'll have to see when we get it. Excuse me. Will whatever it adds in this research tree be any good? Excuse me again. Don't know. We'll have to see when it comes. But so far, this loop is aggravating. Yeah, aggravating. Because there's just another dumbass loop with some dumbass hostile for some dumbass reason. And especially with all the dumbass events attached to it made by, from what I hear, Eco. Yeah, really fucking aggravating. Because holy shit, those heroic SMS shits. Dude, just because I'm a level 66, or 67, I'm 67, doesn't mean I can go kill level 67 hostiles. I'm not buying your dumbass building bullshit. Let's buy it. Whatever. Make all these damn events fucking heroic, because we're going to buy this shit because there's so much here. Stupid. Stupid. However, comment below. What do you think about this research tree? I think it's very lacking, in my opinion. There's one or two. Maybe you can say the PvP Apex barrier is actually going to do something for you, and that makes it worth it. But all in all, it's just... why? Where's the benefit? I don't see too much benefit here. Okay, fine. There can be some benefit in PvP. Some benefit. But again, how often does a PvP meta change? So what do you think about this research tree? Do you see anything that really benefits you? Or you like me, you look at transition mining, meh, it's not good enough. The forbidden tech thing, meh, not good enough. The wave defense stuff, the numbers just aren't high enough to have any kind of impact. And yes, I did mention the critical chance research a lot. Can you think of any other reason why the research would stop at 400% and the hostile goes up to 600%? the research doesn't do anything for you. Especially because it's critical chance. You only need 100% to get a critical hit, and it'll have 200%. Very confusing. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.